Hi, everyone. It's Amy and Tabitha again, because this is our channel. Yes, we are here. And today we are talking about why you need an agent if you want to go the route of traditional publishing.
Yes, an agent. So when we talked last week or the week before about traditional publishing, we talked about it being a gatekeeper model. And the first gate in the gatekeeping model is an agent, because most of these,
Let me interrupt.
yes,
Literary agents. That's how you're going to find
literary
them.
agent,
Yep.
literary agent, yes. Um, so in order to access some of these big publishing houses, you must have a literary agent. And so that's the reason why you would need to acquire one. A couple of things to say about an agent is one, and a big factor, because publishing has become such a huge industry and there's so many ancillary businesses surrounding it, supporting writers, editorial, marketing and sales, and there's these businesses that have built up around writing and publishing. There are also scams, and there are also places where people are, if you pay me, I'll be your agent. No, that's actually not how it works. You will never pay an agent directly out of your own pocket. You will only pay an agent if they get you a sale. Essentially, if they sell your book, they get paid a percentage of your earnings. That's the only time. So we talked about that with traditional publishing. Everything in traditional publishing financially goes towards the writer, not the other direction. So just keep that in mind as you're out there looking around and thinking who might be a good match as an agent. Then, I guess, how do you find the right agent? Well, the thing is, again, industry of rejection, querying an agent is going to be a frustrating process, but you can do a few things to help yourself out. And one of them is to do your homework, and it is to research. Certain agents have better connections in certain genres, and they like certain things more, and they tell you what they like. So honor that when you're doing your homework and you're looking up these particular agents at different big agencies. Go to their website, go to their descriptions, and read what they say about what they want. And don't be pitching somebody a romantic suspense who says, I never want any romance under any conditions. They're
Sure.
gonna
You know
be an
where
auto no.
a good place to start getting your feet wet with that is my manuscript wish list. It's MMWL, and you can actually type in search words for what your genre is, and it'll spit out agents, some editors. But that's a good place to start, and then also query manager. And we'll go into this a little more next week when we're talking about querying. But I just want to let people know, like, we can delineate some when we're talking about actual querying, some specific places to look for people. So
Yes,
we
and manuscript. Yeah, and the manuscript wish list thing is really, that's what the agents put together. That is their wish list. They're telling you directly what kinds of things they want to see in their inbox. So that's a place to start. We want to be making sure that you have done your homework about what agent might be the right one to represent you. And then just understand it's going to be a numbers game. And we'll talk about that more when we talk about querying. So yeah. Anything else we got to talk about agents?
um literary agent, not really, because that's it. The specific, we're just generalizing now. We're going to be a little more specific next
Yeah,
week.
well,
We're actual querying. I think our next topic is what they actually do.
so what does the agent do? So they essentially, sometimes when you've acquired an agent, and they'll say, I want to work with you a little bit on this project. It's not quite, what the market is looking for right now, and I think we can get it into shape. Some agents don't do any editorial work with you at all. My agent does. She likes that. She likes to get the project a little bit earlier on so that she can, kind of help me make it its best thing. However, having said that, this is a person that knows my writing, knows my work, already knows that I know how to put together a story. I'm not making some of those brand new writer mistakes. So if this is your first time querying, you want to take the time to make sure that your manuscript is in really good shape and that you've done everything you can do to get it as polished. And as people have read it, you've made your edits, you've done some developmental edit work, you've done, get it into really good shape. Having said that, some agents will then take that next step with you and do a little bit of work on the manuscript. After that, they will put together your submission packet. So they're the ones that are going to be putting together all the materials that you need on behalf of you to send your work to those acquisitions editors at those publishing houses that you can't reach directly. So they're putting your package together with their own query version, the manuscript itself, whatever pieces they think are important to say, and they'll be, kind of um, making it personalized to each of their contacts too. So, just like how we'll talk about next week when you're querying, you're going to personalize a little bit sometimes. They're doing that with their own industry contacts and trying to make the best presentation on your behalf. Because again, they don't get paid unless they get you a deal. So everybody is interested in this working. Then let's say everything goes according to plan and you have an offer. They are going to help you negotiate that offer, understand the contract. What does it mean? What rights do you have? Like, are you going to do international rights, translation? Is it going to be option for book and film? And I mean, for film and or TV, how do you navigate that? So they're going to be like guiding you through this whole process and also letting you know, yeah, this is industry standard. That's not, this is a little wonky. We're going to go back and talk about that. They also can do, once you get a yes from somebody, if you still have open queries, right, or open submissions, they can go back to those people and say, hey, we have an offer on the table. Do you want to counter? What a great place to be, right? To have somebody come back and say, oh, wait, we really wanted an opportunity to make an offer on that book. So they'll put all of that stuff together for you, negotiate it on your behalf, and then present it to you and say, hey, do you want to sign, and give you their best industry advice. And then they also will take a percentage of your royalty earnings for the life of that publishing contract, essentially.
So it's usually 10 to 15%, correct?
Yep.
And sometimes I think it's a little more for if it's optioned. I think it's a little higher.
Wouldn't that be a nice problem to have if they had something optioned, right? So I'll let you know if that ever. But yeah, so that's just kind of the mechanics of how it should work, and why you would need an agent.
And then we talked about research, and then we talked about querying. I think that's everything we need to cover for today, other than now getting into the specifics of
write a query letter and all that stuff, and that's its own topic. So
maybe I'll write. We're talking, but I think I should write next too. We need to talk about the letter. We need to talk about what is often included. So the pieces.
Yep.
That you usually send, where to find an agent, or where to find, how to do your research. Anything else that
I think
eventually those of you watching, eventually we're going to do this live, so you can type in your questions while we're doing it.
That'll be fun.
In real time or next.
So we're not ready yet for that, but we're getting there.
What I wanted to say in terms of cleaning up your manuscript, a lot of the videos that we've already done talk about things that you need to do. And the other thing I want to say is, once you write the end in your first draft, don't start querying, because it's just not going to be strong enough. You probably, if it took you a year to write that, you probably need to take another year to make it pretty before you start querying. Otherwise, it's just going to end up on the I hate to say it, the trash heap, and that time is wasted. Now we both have friends who are like, okay, on to the next one, and then get better through writing the next one. And then and I both went the different route with our first one, which was working really, really, really hard to get that one in ship shape.
Exactly.
Anyway, we can't help but make it sound a little bit daunting, but at the same time, it is a blessing to know that, so that you don't waste your
opportunities.
You don't waste your opportunities.
Exactly.
I mean, I can think of agents who were interested in my first novel before it was ready, and I wish I had it clean,
right.
Because you don't get a second shot, and so that's just the truth of it. And that is a kindness to give us, for Tabitha and I to give you the real information is the best thing you need for your success.
Agreed.
All right. Until next
time. Until next time. We'll talk querying next week.